I need a motion to open the public hearing.
Make that motion. Scott.
Okay, Scott, and
I'll second
second,
it.
second is by Dave. And Janet, when you have a moment, would you read the advertisement for the public hearing?
The Town of Callicoon, please take notice that the Town of Callicoon Town Board has scheduled a public hearing on Monday, September 9th, 2013, at 7:15 PM at the Town of Callicoon Town Hall, 19 Legion Street, Jeffersonville, New York, to set guidelines and requirements for using the Town of Callicoon facility.
Thank you, Janet. So that simply says the reason for this public hearing is, actually, it was discovered, I know Councilman Fuchs will not be with us tonight, he had a doctor's appointment. And, excuse me, we discovered that we actually need to hold a public hearing for setting these guidelines. So we actually had adopted the guidelines some time ago, and they've been available, the one actually for the use of the hall has been on this door. Janet took it down to put a new one up. It was getting a little bit weathered. So at this time, we'll open up the public hearing for any questions regarding that. If anybody has any, because we're not changing anything, but again, this is required by a statute, some town law. So yes, sir.
One thought. Van Morrow from Chandelier. Thank you. Just one thought. No, these all look like very decent rules. But if you're here and you are required to turn off all the fans or whatever, like how would someone be here to tell us where the switches are and just to make sure that you can do all this business properly? You know, you just want to
Well,
know how to shut the building down, how to lock it up, how to clean it, you know.
When somebody comes to pick up the keys, I show them where everything is, I show them the broom and the mop, and tell them where everything has to go back and where to put the keys so I get them back,
Okay.
okay?
That's that.
anybody else with some questions?
Procedural issue. When we have a meeting, like a special meeting, rules, whatever, it may be a good idea to post the rules or whatever on the website so we know what we're talking about.
Okay. I will just remind you that these rules have been discussed before and posted in actually both locations, so the reason for that. And there's copies here tonight, if anybody wants some. Peter?
Yeah, Tom, what reasons would the town hall be used for?
Found this, the hall.
Yeah, right here, in other words. I mean,
You want to know what else it gets used for. From
I know
any organizations, you know, we don't allow like any for-profit type of, same with our town park, basically. But if someone wants to use it in an evening,
Registration for
That's
soccer and.
oh, okay, like I know the senior citizens have it on Thursday, right? You have,
They get a lot of registrations for soccer, you know, and like basketball camps and like that for our program.
even during the parade in town, and I believe even for the Jeff Fest that's coming up Saturday, they've asked, they didn't actually ask for this, but when the tractor parade was here last year and when the firemen had their parade, they had asked for permission to leave this part of the building open to use restrooms. So even then, you know, someone will have to be in charge of the key, turning off, cleaning up. So, you know, it's public building, we want it to be able to be used, just not abused.
thank you.
Because we have had these town rules before,
Mhm.
are there any changes that precipitate this resolution?
Only reason we're having a public hearing, I'd stated just before, was that in a Townsend topic or something, it was noted in there that a public hearing must be held for adoption of rules for the town's facilities. So we're just simply complying and having
So there are no changes? right?
no changes, no. Nope. So. Just a formality, and But, yeah, they're here, and again, anybody wants to use the park facility, again, they have to schedule through the town clerk's office, and at which time they'll give them the refundable deposit, go over the rules with the town clerk, they'll be given a set of keys, and then again, go over the guidelines, have them sign a contract, and when they're done, they have to abide by it, or they will not receive the refundable deposit back. That's the idea of it, so. Anybody else have anything at this time? I'll give it a few more minutes and close. What did they charge $8 then for the cars and things?
There's vendor prices and there's, and at $8 in advance, $10
Oh, okay.
at the gate, which is nothing bad. This is going, oh, this. We don't have that. It's what I heard.
Okay.
Did I agree? It could be on
Youth
TV.
board. It's gonna be whoever's gonna.
Well, whether it's the fire department or whatever. Or we could, oh, yeah, that's better, yeah, that's what we figured it was.
This is all going.
Right, okay.
Just take some of those things out.
Do you want my copy of this to put on the glass?
Yeah, I have some.
This thing's for, this is for nonprofits. For the profit.
You see what the weather's better.
Yeah, well. You should stay in. It's a good start, it's pretty simple to do.
Graduated,
Kids and with the firemen. Fireman's breakfast. You do that crush on the afternoon, you kill the day.
Probably shouldn't write it down quite this one, it's the first year.
You never know because.
How are you?
You never know
I
because
just say hi.
calls and garbage. They will, those are 3 shows a year.
Make a motion, we close the public hearing.
Okay, got a motion on the table to close the public hearing, if there's no other comment from the audience.
Second.
Second by Scott. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay, thank you. All right, welcome, everyone. If we could rise for the pledge of the flag, but I'd ask you to remain standing after the pledge, please. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you just remain standing, I just ask you, actually, I'd like to have 2 moments of silence tonight. The first one is a councilman in the town of Fremont, a longtime board member, actually community-minded member, Paul Brusman, passed away on Friday. His funeral was today. Paul not only was a great asset and friend to Fremont, but to the town of Callicoon as well. Involved in many organizations and volunteered his time. Past chief in North Branch Fire Department, just truly a very significant member of our community. So I just ask you for at this time for a moment to remember Paul Brusman. Thank you. If you still remain standing, my other request for a moment of silence, Wednesday will mark the 12th anniversary of the most horrific event of terrorist act on American soil, September 11th, 2001, and I'd just like to ask to remember all the lives that were lost that day. Thank you very much. Okay, on with our meeting. Need a motion to accept the minutes of the August 12th, 2013 regular town board meeting, but I have a correction to bring up to Kim's attention, actually two minor. On the business items, you have a second paragraph on a motion by Councilman Fuchs, seconded by Councilman Gable to set September 10th. That should be September 9th, today's date. You with me, Kim, or no?
Yes.
Okay, and on the back, the last page, first sentence, supervisor also reminded the public that on Saturday, September 14th, will be the Shred Day hosted by Jeff Bank. It's co-hosted, Jeff Bank in the town of Callicoon. And that says, has not been confirmed of yet, but it wasn't then, it is now. So just those two minor adjustments. Anybody have any others? If not, I need a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Second? Dave and Charlie, all in favor?
Aye.
Statement of supervisor for the month of August 2013. The general aid fund had a beginning balance of $52,965.15. The total received was $201,456.93. The total dispersed was $165,966.14, leaving an ending balance $88,455.94. Savings of general A is at $339,561.79. The general B fund had a beginning balance of $3,797.21. Total received $1,285. Total dispersed $4,455.76, leaving ending balance $626.45. Savings for the general B is $69,222.21. The highway DB had a beginning balance $17,004.33. Total received $200,460.12. Dispersed was $132,276.14, leaving an ending balance $85,188.31. Savings for the highway DB is at $50,329.92. The highway DA had a beginning balance $7,928.92. Total received was $300,569.52. Total dispersed $257,149.57. Ending balance of $51,348.87, and the savings for the highway DA is at $602,970.22. Youngsville Water District began at $1,009.49. Total received was $10,173.85. Total dispersed $6,049.65, leaving an ending balance $5,133.69. And the savings of the Youngsville Water District is at $31,405.89. Motion to accept supervisor's report is read.
Motion.
Scott, and second by Dave, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Janet, give us town clerk and code enforcement officer report, please.
Okay, I paid $1,245.66 to the supervisor. I paid $2,965.11 to the DEC for decals. I paid $54 to the New York State Animal Population Control and $67.50 to the Health Department for marriage licenses, for a total of $4,332.27. And I collected $965 from the code enforcement officer.
Motion to accept town clerk and code enforcement officer report.
Motion.
Charlie, second.
Second.
Dave, all in favor?
Aye.
Janet, if you audit the bills, please.
General fund, general aid fund, 200, vouchers number 241 to 259, $8,101.04. Another bill from Derek Hahn, $104.25. Catskill, Delaware, $18.77. Double Clean, $425, AT&T, $250.20, Dow's and Water, $42, and P&N Alarm, $220 even. General B Fund vouchers number 3032, $1,265. Another bill from Catskill, Delaware for $42.41. Highway DA Fund vouchers number 87 to 97, $17,094.23. Highway DB Fund vouchers number 26 to 29, $30,833.50. And the Water District vouchers number 29 to 30, $340.13. And another bill from Benchmark for $43.06.
Motion pay the bills.
Motion.
Dave, second.
Second.
Scott, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The August payroll checks number 21310 to number 21323 and the direct deposit, the amount of $32,972.82. Motion to authorize.
Motion.
Charlie, and second by Dave. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The trust and agency checks for August number 4922 to number 4928 and the electronic transfers in the amount of $72,836.52. A motion
Motion.
by Dave and a second.
Second.
By Scott, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Chris, our highway superintendent report.
Thanks, Tom. Things are going pretty well. We're trying to tie up all our summer work. We do have to seal Huber and Hausman roads still, the two last roads that we paved. So we're scheduled for that on Monday with Suit Coat, so the oil company. So hopefully the weather will hold and be good for Monday, and we'll get that done. And then most of the paving will be done. We got some paving at the building to do. The highway garage, the problem we had out in the front there, so we got that, trying to get that cleaned up. We're gonna pave that hopefully tomorrow. We've got it prepped and be ready for cleanup this weekend. So we're clean up this weekend, and then that's about it. We're busy trying to finish things up for fall. And then also I'd like to ask the board if I could. We've been talking in the past about replacing our grade all for our ditching piece of equipment, and the one that we have is a 1982 or 3. We had two of them. They were about the same vintage, and the one got wrecked and was scrapped. But this one is 30 years old, the one that we have now. So looking to upgrade that, and not with anything new, because the price tag on the new ones and the emissions and everything on the new machines is just way more than we need and way more than we can afford. It's about in the neighborhood of $300,000 to replace with new. So I would ask that if we could advertise for something in the 10-year-old range, and look for something about 10 years old. If we can get something with halfway low hours on it, and so if we could advertise, I'll spec it out, and maybe in the $100,000 to $140,000 range or something, maybe for less than half of new, and see what we can come up with anyway. Maybe we can find something decent. So if that's agreeable, maybe we could advertise for that and look at them at another meeting.
Yeah, Chris and I and Joanne joined our meeting here a while ago, and we've been discussing this, trying to find the right one. If we could find a used one, last year we ended up renting one at about $7,500 a month.
A new machine, yeah.
A new machine.
Expensive.
Got a lot done with it.
Yeah.
But we've been actually watching for if something were to come along. So I think it's a very necessary piece of equipment that, as you stated, the old one's 30 years old and on last legs.
Yeah,
It's
leaking some fluids
needs to be
on its last
replaced.
legs, yeah.
So, and I know a new one we've talked about is somewhere in that neighborhood of 300.
Yeah.
So I would ask the board too that we, actually you have to get it out there, get your specs and advertise. This would have to be a sealed bid.
Seal.
Yes.
You're estimating, right, 140
Well,
round?
100 to 140,
Yeah,
yeah.
has to be sealed.
Yeah, we're gonna do seal, yeah.
Has
So
to be.
if that's all right to advertise, I will give Janet the specs and we'll put them out.
Need a motion on it?
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to make a motion that we put it out for bid for a new grade all, or used grade all,
Right.
not to,
Make
not to
that-
exceed 140,000.
Well,
See
yeah,
what
if you
happens.
want to
Well,
put
why
that
don't
in there, I
you
think
just
you put
make
it
the
in for a bid.
I'm sorry, just make the resolution if you know, if you don't like the prices, you
Okay.
may not buy it, but I wouldn't put a limit on it.
Okay.
Okay.
And,
So motion is on by Dave to get a spec from Chris to advertise for a used grade all. He'll give the specs on that, but it's somewhere in, no older than 10 years old, say, and so he can write specs up, we can work together on that, we've done that in the past. So we need a second for that?
Second.
Okay, it's motion by Dave, second by Charlie, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
Thank you. That's it.
yeah,
Thank you.
okay. All right, Kevin, where are you?
Right here.
Code enforcement report, please.
Things are going good, average number of permits. I have a new house starting probably this week. We went to court the other night and we had made an agreement on the subject of the junkyard, and hopefully the owner applies and get it cleaned up.
Is there a time frame on that?
Yes, middle of October.
45 days from
Yeah, it was full. I think it was
Right, Norman?
October 18th. Yes,
October 18th. Yep. Thanks for that. Anybody have questions for code enforcement? Thanks. Okay, as per usual, we'll open it up right now for comment from the floor for anything that's on our agenda. Yes, sir.
Jerry Neiman. I see that there's a special meeting for budget presentation. I find the budget very complicated, difficult to understand. My empathy, by the way, to the budget preparers. I know they have a tough job. I would appreciate it greatly if we can get a schedule of salaries by people and the benefits attributed to that person. And I think the community would be better off for understanding how our budget is working.
As in the past, we have this budget presentation is for the budget officer to present and town clerk to present to the board. That's what this part of this process is. Okay, and we will have public hearing on the on the budget itself. And, at that time, a lot of these questions can be answered.
However, the way it's presented is that the salaries are presented differently in the budget than the benefits. You have the health insurance in one place and other parts of the budget for salaries in another place.
That's
It's
a
just
typical-
complicated.
That's a typical budget.
I know, but what I was asking for, if we can get a schedule of the salaries and the,
There is one, correct?
Elected officials.
Only the elected officials, and then the other ones are
and
contractors.
for each position, we show the salary, we show the benefits attributed to that position in one schedule on one page?
Well, you're correct that it's not that way in the budget. However, all elected officials' salaries are posted at the end of it.
But
And it's-
not the whole, not the salaries and the benefits together, so we can get a picture of what it's like. I would appreciate that.
Anybody else? Anything on the agenda? Okay, thank you. So we'll go into that agenda, and the first one on that is the resolution for the town facilities. Most of you were just here, we had the public hearing on it, a few comments were offered, so we do have the resolution prepared. Town of Callicoon resolution, the number's not on here, but we'll put that in, 2013. Whereas the town board of the town of Callicoon has recognized the need to establish guidelines for use of both the town of Callicoon Town Hall and town of Callicoon Park, and whereas town law, section 64, paragraph 7, authorizes towns to issue permits for use of town property, and whereas the town board has prepared a list of rules and guidelines for use of the town facilities, and now therefore be it resolved, the town board hereby approves the rules and guidelines policy for the town of Callicoon facilities as attached to this resolution. So, I need a motion to accept that resolution.
Make a motion?
Motion by Dave, and a second?
Second.
By Charlie, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Need that. Second one on our agenda tonight is our Youngsville Water District update. Last month, we requested proposals for some emergency work to be done at our water treatment facility in Youngsville. We did receive proposals back, and basically what it is actually a complete new construction of the small facility that houses our water treatment plant. The scope of work went out. Approximately 6 different contractors had the opportunity to present proposals to the town that administrates for the Youngsville Water District. It's a small district of approximately 125 users. Obviously more people than that, but that's about how many residents and businesses are billed. So again, out of the number of contractors that had received the scope of work, we received 3 proposals back. I'll read them. I'll read what their proposal is for. I'm not going through their scope of work, but we received a proposal from AT Contracting, Albert Tiles, for the complete removal, and the whole job was $42,000. Liberty Ladies Corporation, Liberty, New York, proposed $36,480. And our third proposal was received. Red Erdman Contracting, and his proposal totals $32,800. So those are the 3 that were received. The board, as well as code enforcement, has had a chance to review, as well as myself. And at this time, after reviewing myself, and any comments from Kevin regarding any of those proposals?
No, we pared it down some, we cut where we could cut as far as the structure itself. We still have quality buildings, I think it's good.
Okay. As far as you're concerned, it meets the scope of work that we've prescribed and requested?
Yep.
Okay. Any questions from the board?
No, I agree with Kevin, that it's pretty much what we asked for.
Charlie?
Yeah, I think it's fine, we'll go with the lower bid.
Okay, so we'll accept the proposal, need a motion for that, and then we just have to discuss actual how it's going to be paid for. But right now, I guess we need a motion and a second to accept the proposal of Brett Erdman for a total of $32,800. I need a motion?
Motion.
By Scott, and a second?
Second.
By Charlie, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so what I meant by that is, being this houses the water treatment plant, we need to do this expeditiously. So we requested all these contractors to give us approximate time of start and completion. Even though it wasn't denoted on his, I did have contact on the phone, and he pretty much said he can get started almost immediately. And I had requested that he have it completed by the 15th of October, the latest. Now, for the payment, what I'm suggesting, what was that? Excuse me. What I'm suggesting to the board to consider, we have approximately, I'm going back to my supervisor's report, approximately $14,000 in the savings for the Youngsville Water District,
No,
correct?
correct, over and above what we need, yeah, that's, right now.
Right now, over right. We need, obviously, to finish out the year. So, being this is deemed an emergency project, the town has had in place for some years now a emergency repair reserve fund. That's what it's designated, an emergency. We've used it in the past for a couple different things, but we've always been able to recoup the money from whatever project that was completed. No different here with this. What I'm proposing and talking with our budget officer, Joanne, that we do, if we can borrow no more than $20,000 from the emergency repair reserve, and we can do a payback structured over a 4-year time period with the Youngsville Water District. So obviously a $5,000 per year repayment. That doesn't make it too hard on the small water district users. Budget-wise, we'll be able to stay within our means with that. But if we had to request it back within the year, it would be, I guess we would have to raise the rates again. So the proposal is for just that to the board. If we use that repair reserve fund, a maximum of $20,000 towards this emergency construction. And again, structure a payback period of 4 years.
And you have how many users in the Youngsville water? You said 125? So are you gonna do it as an assessment and on top of their water rates, or build it into their water rates?
I don't think that that's going to be necessary, Marvin. I think that we should be able to pay it back in 4 to 5 years with what
From
we're
the water
collecting
rates?
now.
Okay. You're gonna set any interest on it, on the loan?
We're not getting any interest on the reserve
I know
either.
you're not getting it, okay. Just so you have it clear, you're just gonna get it back from the rates,
Correct.
as opposed to doing a 1 or 2 year assessment on the users. Okay. You can do it any way you want.
Okay. All right, so does everybody understand that? So we need a motion then to appropriate, well, I won't say appropriate, but use the funding from the emergency repair reserve, the maximum of $20,000.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Second.
Take your pick, Charlie or Scott. We'll go with Charlie. So motion by Dave, second by Charlie. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. We'll notify the contractor, and we'll also send notices to the other ones that submitted proposals, thanking them for submitting their proposal. Next is the fall cleanup. Just a reminder again, it's this weekend, Saturday the 14th through Monday the 16th.
7 to 6.
7 to 6 p.m. You know the rules with that. If you have any question on it, contact Janet. You have to pick up your residence card here if you don't already have one. We pretty much, these guys will limit you to pickup load from, we
Depending
kinda-
on size, yeah.
we seem to
try
have
be
people
fair.
every year that take a little advantage of this opportunity, but it's still a good opportunity. So also the reminder of Saturday, from 9:30 to 12:30 is the shred day that is co-hosted with Jeff Bank this year. So if you have anything that you need to be shredded, a question was raised before, you hand it directly to the operator of the shredding truck. He will place it in and you can listen to it get shredded.
You can watch it on a TV screen.
You can watch, that's right, you can watch it on the TV screen. So,
Well, that's what they had last time anyway. You could watch it go up into the vehicle and be shredded, so.
okay, so that's just a reminder. Number 4, we have to set a special meeting for the budget presentation to the board members, and it has to be done prior to October 5th. So we're suggesting either Tuesday, October 1st. It would be better to have it either Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, not Friday, but if it has to be Friday, we can accommodate. And usually we do it at 3 p.m. if that's convenient for the other councilmen. We just need to know what day. Does it make a difference, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday?
No, pick one. No, pick a day.
Wednesday's bad for me. Use Tuesday, Thursday.
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
All in favor? All right.
Yeah.
Tuesday the 1st, 3 p.m. All in favor? Aye.
And I'll put an ad in the paper for that.
Okay. Yeah, it's required to have an M. Thank you. Okay, I have one other thing I'd like to bring up. Dave and I had a meeting today in Youngsville with officials from BOCES. And this is regarding another water problem that we have there from the east branch of the Callicoon Creek, and it's located directly behind the old Youngsville School. This is an ongoing problem that is, in my mind, and I believe Dave would back me up on this, that it presents a true danger to our residents. The wall that's back there, anybody's free to go back and look at. Well, I shouldn't say that, it is private property, it's on BOCES, but if you care to do that, you can see what we're talking about. But there's a large rock retaining wall that's deteriorated to the point that when we have these storms, that the water that comes down that stream at such a force, It's actually undermined, and it's taken out the back part of the blacktop. It's taken out our fire department's dry hydrant, but it's presenting a real risk of possible life and certainly property damage. So, the property that this wall is located on belongs to the church, the Reformed Church. That was determined after a survey that was conducted by BOCES. And again, private property. Seems like nobody has the funding to do this. We have gotten, when I say we, our soil and water department has gotten an estimate to repair the wall that's there back to its original standards and then increasing the length of it a little bit. We're gonna continue to check with some contractors, or I think the church will do that, being it's on their property. In my mind, this is a repair work that needs to be done as soon as possible. We've all seen that brook and the power that it has. So again, I'm proposing to the board, due to the time and we have a limit of the 30th September that the DEC allows work to be done in our streams. Although I think we can, if need be, request an extension. I don't think that would be a problem if need be. We think the work should be done as quickly as possible. I'm going to suggest that again in our meeting we've had with members from the church that are in charge of their maintenance and grounds. And, but what needs to be done, it's gotta be paid for somehow. So we do have that emergency reserve. We just talked about that. We still have some money left in it, even if we use the $20,000 for the building of the water department's structure. I would suggest that that funding is used to repair this wall. And we would like to work on, we already have a commitment verbal from one of the property owners that they would help with the cost of this. We have somewhat a good hope that BOCES is gonna contribute. And we still have another landowner to contact as well as the church. My hope is that it can all be paid for with, if you wanna call BOCES private money, it's basically not private. But they're a landowner as well as the other ones that are private. And my hope would be that the town could again expect repayment in full. But I do believe this to be a real danger. I've seen it many times, witnessed it, and I tell everybody I'm not a doomsday person, but I do think Jim's been there a number of times. He's done work for the church, and I think you would agree with me.
No, it's terrible. Getting worse every year. There's nothing left to it now.
So there's more work for us to do. Dave and I have kind of taken this and, again, meeting with BOCES there today. They have to get back to us. We explained to them how we would try it and pay for this, and they asked us, they have certain thresholds, again, because it's not on their property, even though their property is basically the first one that's going to be impinged upon or damaged. And they realize that. So they asked us if the board would be opposed to, again, structuring a repayment of more than 1 year. So I told them I would ask the board if that's a possibility, that it would probably help out with them being able to come up with some of the funding. But again, what it would mean is ultimately spending funds from our emergency repair, but that's why we've deemed it the emergency repair reserve. And if we can get all of it come back to us, that's a good thing. It's like a revolving fund. If we have to use it again for another emergency, that's why it's there. So I just want to ask the council their thoughts on this. Scott?
Was BOCES gonna do anything besides monetarial, they have the equipment like that, were they gonna use any of their equipment on?
No, I believe, Charlie, what would have to be done is, being it's on the church's property, that the church could request proposals, could be calling up Jim, the contractor, and asking what's gonna cost to do this. Soil and Water is assisting with the actual specifications of what the wall should be, as well as the permitting process, which they've already have the permit filled out application for DEC. But no, to answer your question, No, it would be simply a monetary contribution.
Okay.
So, just a minute, I'll get you as soon as the board members respond, so hold on one second.
I guess it would just, it'd be nice if we could get some of those monetary commitments in place before we did anything on it. I realize it's an emergency and that's what that fund is for. So, I know you'll stay on top of BOCES. You'll talk with BOCES and everybody else involved and so we'll try and recover as much of that as we can from
Okay, and of course, you and I have been involved in this right from the start, but just in case, if people don't know what's happening here, it's a brook that comes to an end, to a wall, and actually comes this way and has to make like a hairpin turn, actually going backwards this way and then this way. And there's a big wall there, and over the years, it's held up pretty well, I would say, for the years that it's been there. But it's just getting beat to death. It's falling down, there's hardly anything left. And there's a lot of properties and people in those properties that flash flood of any sort. You know, if the other day, if 2 weeks ago, if we'd had another inch of rain, another hour's worth of rain, it would have went over, and it could have possibly, I mean, it could have possibly hurt some, actually took some homes out, so.
A lot of you have
And the
seen,
fire
witnessed
department.
the damage and been maybe by some of these streams, but picture what Dave has just said. This stream comes to wall, and it has to turn left. It's not natural. And that wall, if you could see the force, it's incredible. It's scary to stand there and watch it. And I know if one of these storms happen at night, when there isn't somebody watching it, you know, I won't go any further, but it could be very damaging. So that's why I say I think we really have to move on this. I agree with Scott that we'll take every initiative to make certain that we could retrieve all of this. Hopefully that's possible.
Tom, when would we know from BOCES? You said you have September 30th, right?
That's the DEC deadline.
Right. When would BOCES know?
Well, we want to continue this conversation possibly this week yet. They had asked for, we gave them one estimate that was already received by Soil and Water for rock, because we wanted a comparison, rock versus the steel pilings. Unfortunately, steel pilings is just about double what the laid up rock. So we'll have that conversation maybe by the end of this week, if not for sure next week. I have one homeowner, one property owner I have not contacted yet. I will, and see what they have to say. So if the board doesn't have anything else, I'll take a question here.
Tom, is there any way the state,
It's up to us, that's okay. It's all right.
what,
It's all right. He films
you don't
all
have
of
to
our
take
meetings.
my picture?
If you're not comfortable with it, I won't.
Good.
Okay.
Is there any way the state can be, that we could get some money from the state? That wall was put in there in the 50s when I was in school there. That's when that wall was put in. Because they always had trouble on that turn where that brook was, always. Now,
Yeah.
is the state in any way responsible from anything?
To answer that part of your question, no.
Oh, okay. I was
But-
just wondering if we could get the state to do something for us.
I've made numerous phone calls to Assemblywoman Gunther's office. I was actually at a dinner with her on
Yeah.
Saturday night. And we're trying that route. If that would have to be similar to other work that we had done, and again, be a reimbursement. I am reaching out to Senator Bonasek as well. Problem is, so is every other community. But we're trying that. As well.
I'm just kind of wondering about that because,
Mhm.
you know, it's just a problem that, you know,
It is.
it's.
Brad, what we've been advocating over the last 5 years is that our state establishes an agency that would be similar to, well, a stream, let's say a stream management district. And I don't know where that's going. I've mentioned that to Ms. Gunther and Senator Bonasek as well. if they take it and if anything comes of that, I don't know. I think that would be the thing to do because, you know, we obviously, there's other properties that are impacted. This one just presents a real life-threatening danger. Soil and Water also may be able to help out. Their funding is done for this year. They also are spread out over this county. Their funding was cut by our county legislators by $200,000 for stream remediation this year, which was all of their funding for stream remediation.
Because
So-
like Dave said, I know that that's a 90-degree turn in the brook. 90 degrees. It comes to a stop and then it goes the other direction.
Yep. Jim?
I thought they talked at one time about straightening that out, moving that stream and taking some of that corner out of it.
It's one of the proposals. Yeah, you're right.
That would, I mean, the church would lose a little land
Well,
in riprap where they're, you know.
no, I'm glad you brought that up because that's what we've proposed. And we proposed it in 2008.
Right, well, I remember.
And you did the work. And you did what you were told to.
Right.
And
we cut
and
a
basically
channel
it
through
put
there,
back
which
to where it
worked.
is now.
Right.
And $18,000 of Soil and Water's funding was used for that.
Well, the wall I put up still standing, so some of that's.
No, but what I'm saying is, we oppose doing that work.
Right, no, I know.
But again, it's private property.
Was that mentioned the other day about maybe straightening that stream out again?
There's a few
There's
proposals.
several
Yeah,
different
and again, the
proposals.
landowner, the church, they would like to see it put back to the back side of their property. But I don't think the DEC is going to go with that.
Something's gotta be, and the problem with water, it's gotta go where it wants to go. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you gotta armor, if you change it, you gotta armor the bank real good to keep it there, maybe.
Well, there's a lot of things that are on the table that they're talking about.
Right, well,
There's
they don't
nothing in-
have,
not-
they
Nothing
don't have
in
much time to
stone,
talk about it.
and
Nothing in stone.
nothing in stone, being funny, but it's the money.
Right,
you know.
right. it's all about
But
that.
regardless, whatever course that this stream has to take, whether
That
it's.
wall's gotta be fixed.
Exactly right.
Right.
But how much does the DEC have to do with this?
Just permitting.
No design work?
Soil and Water will do the design.
And they approve it.
DEC has to approve it, right, Jim? But basically, and we've had them there, you know, it just seems like we're there weekly basis anymore. So, where were we at with that? I guess, we can continue this. I guess I just wanted to bring it to the board's attention and get their feeling that if the need arises to use funding from that emergency repair reserve to get this work started, are we
Fine with that.
on
I'm
the
fine
same?
with that.
I'd have to also agree with Scott that we have to have some kind of,
Okay, so if you want to make a motion for that, because probably, you know, again, to actually do that, we'll probably need it at our next meeting or a special meeting in between, so we can do it at that time. But if you want to make the motion now that specifying that we make every attempt to have it reimbursed to us.
Well, Tom, what I would suggest, you're still talking with BOCES.
Right.
And it sounds like they're in a threatened position that they're gonna have property damage if it's not done, and you have another property owner, you know, the church, I don't know, because they probably have tremendous funding problems.
Yeah, right.
But what I would suggest that rather make every effort before you expend any money to get an agreement, let's say with BOCES, you don't know what it's gonna cost at this point, say, okay, they're gonna reimburse you for what, X%, whether it's 30%, 50%, the landowner, and we have that way an enforceable agreement. Because on my concern, if you spend the money, they say, okay, well, it's gone, well, I don't have to pay you, thanks a lot. So I think that's very important, especially the ones who are really threatened, whatever landowners, and that way we can protect getting the money back.
Okay, I'll have some more conversation with you, and maybe you can draw up a.
Well,
some
you have
sort
to
of agreement.
negotiate if they're gonna pay it, you know, 'cause if you just do it and ask them to do it, people don't do it.
I think we'll follow up with Soil and Water and have them contact the DEC, try to help us so we can stretch this out maybe a little bit, at least until we can get that information from the landowners.
As far as the deadline.
Yeah, as far as going past the deadline.
Right, yeah, I, Brian had already relayed to me that he thinks that's not a problem at all, but, you know, obviously it can't go on until, you know, we might get it through the 15th of October or something, or maybe even the end of October, but, you know, but every day we're lucky. We've had a very good year this year. We're pretty fortunate. That could change at any time. So you want to take questions now on this, or do you went to?
Only just one more thing.
Yeah.
For the meeting, the budget meeting, we did that?
Yep,
Okay, October
we did
1st, so
that.
that's it. I want some more questions.
Okay, what we're gonna do, Peter, is we're gonna go into public comment now, and then, you know, then you're welcome to bring up. So, we didn't actually have a motion on that. We're gonna wait till we have more conversation with the property owners. Gotcha, okay? All right, if the board doesn't have anything else, then we'll just open it up for public comment then. Please, go ahead.
Yeah, we don't have a cost estimate though, do we? We don't have a ballpark or?
We, Soil and Water requested one contractor so far. He gave him the footage.
Which we can't divulge.
We cannot divulge, right. You're right. Thank you for reminding me of that. Yeah, if we're gonna have, we hope that the landowner will request proposals. That's the way it should be done. But the board is aware of that. Okay, anything else on that? Anyone else?
Yeah, how much is in that emergency reserve fund?
There's
About
roughly
30,
34,000.
34.
Okay, okay. Nancy Lee, Callicoon Center. So of that 34,000, 20,000 will be used?
We capped it at 20 for the water district.
So there's 14 left then, right? Okay. I have a couple of other questions. On the website, is it possible for the town to put tax map on the town website? I know there are other towns in the county that have that for the public's information.
I don't know, we got a lot on there right now, but I guess probably would have to speak with Bonnie and Janet together to see if that's a possibility.
Okay, I know you can
So
come in to look at it.
That's correct.
If it's at all possible, I think it makes it more usable for the
Well,
residents.
The thing I can tell you is we can discuss it between the assessor and the town clerk that actually takes care of the website.
Okay. My second question is, that special meeting for the budget presentation, you said that it's only for the town board members. Is the public welcome to be present?
It's a special meeting.
It's a regular meeting.
Yes. special.
Okay.
But it simply will be that the budget officer will present the budgets to the board members, and that's basically it. It's just required by law.
So the public is welcome, but we're not supposed to speak?
Well, there really isn't anything to speak
Yes.
about.
Takes
you're right.
Takes about a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else this time? If not,
Make a motion.
we got a motion to adjourn. Second? Second. Thank you, everyone.
Second.
Okay.